I have one of these torches which has got the sort of floating magnet inside. It runs without batteries at all, and you charge it just by shaking it. It obviously has some kind of supercapacitor, I assume, to hold the charge after you've shaken it, and then there's a switch to turn on an LED torch. But it's stopped working, and then the magnet, which is a cylinder, quite a large diameter, inside this inner tube, and it wouldn't slide up and down anymore. So rather than just chuck it in the bin, I've taken it apart or sawn it in half, basically. Um, and yeah, it's interesting. There's a concentric tubes, basically. There's this outer tube which has this inner one inside, and then this smaller diameter tube holds the coil and the magnet. There's black tape on the end. It looks like electrical tape. There's nothing clever about it. For some reason, they seem to think they need to prevent that from being transparent at both ends. On this end, there's this black part which fits on there, which just rests inside this end cover with the lanyard on. And it's got quite a nice little rubber buffer. See, there's a hole through it so it can squish down. And so the magnet, when you shake it, it slides up and down between these two rubber buffers, passing through the coil in the process. So, yeah, it's really quite interesting. But the weird thing is, or one of the weird things, that the magnet, the reason it stops sliding is that it's kind of disintegrating, or at least seems to have a coating. Could be chrome, could be something else. It's certainly metallic, but it's kind of turned to dust. Actually, it is magnetic, isn't it? That's just because of the kind of magnetic material attached to the coating, or whether it's the coating itself is magnetic. I guess it could be nickel rather than chrome. I know it's just a cosmetic thing. And the inner magnet doesn't seem to be sort of falling apart. It's just this coating. So it's been fine for years. I've had it probably 10 years or maybe probably even longer than that. I only just noticed today that it didn't work anymore. So I'm clean off this plating and have a look underneath. So most of the plating is off now, and what's left does just scrape off relatively easily, apart from the fact that the knife blade sticks to the magnet. It is a strong magnet. I don't know what it is, whether it's a rare earth, it must be, I suppose. But and on this knife blade, yeah, it's pretty strong. So I'll keep that anyway, just as a useful magnet. Just going to cut this again to get closer to the other end. So obviously there's the coil, which has got a lot of turns on it. It's got to be several hundred. And there's the rubber buffer at this end. Oh, which has a spring. I wonder what I can see a metal part under here, but it is just a spring. So that makes sense. So yeah, the rubber buffer that end is indeed mounted on a spring. It's pretty impressive design, really. I mean, it's virtually hermetically sealed. I think this end is completely sealed. It's a molding, closed molding, and this end must be very well attached. And there's a lens and this black part There's no obvious way for that to come off. And the switch actually doesn't penetrate the tube. It seems to presumably be a magnet which operates on this area here. So I'm assuming that it's only in two positions. In one position it probably operates a reed switch or some sort of magnetic switch inside this area here. Ah yes, so this this screws out. Okay, so I've snapped off the LED, but yes, sure enough, I think this plastic part underneath here just is a spacer and a standoff to hold the reed switch in the correct position below the switch on the outside of the case, which has indeed got a magnet in it. So that's pretty neat. So it's completely waterproof. So there's a little plastic standoff, which say holds this reed switch in place. There are the four diodes of the bridge. This little diode across the DC, which I assume, well it is, it's across this component here, which must be the supercapacitor, so it's stopping backflow back into the coil. So this will get pumped up as the torch is shaken and charge up this capacitor. It's got some markings on it. Yeah, P2 plus and minus across the two terminals. There's some kind of stripes of ink, but no part number or marking on it. Plus, I would assume it's a capacitor. Well, it must be a capacitor, but whether it's a supercapacitor or not is another question. So what I'll do, I'll cut this off and try on the tester. So just trying on this little TC1 tester. Sure enough, well, 68.1 microfarads according to that. Took a long time to test. So it does seem to be a capacitor, as it kind of had to be. I mean, it takes about 30 seconds to test it, which I guess is because it needs to charge it up. So I can work out the capacitance. There we go. Yeah, 68.4 ESR of 5.8. 68.4. Try around the other way. Ah, 73.99. M farads, is that millifarads? I have to do some sums. So yeah, this does look to be a supercapacitor. So 77 millifarads. I reckon that are sort of 4 volts ish, say, and 3 volts across the LED, which I've now lost. There we go. That would give a number of seconds, basically, potentially, of runtime once the capacitor is fully charged. So you're probably talking 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So that does seem plausible. That's the value of this capacitor. So yeah, pretty straightforward in some respects. Got a nice little high power magnet sliding inside a coil, generating the AC voltage that's rectified by a little bridge rectifier, and used to charge a capacitor directly. The capacitor then dumps through the LED, operated by a reed switch which keeps the outer case completely watertight, so there is no way for water to get past this switch, which is actually on the outside of the tube. So yeah, quite a neat idea. Just a shame that it's spoiled by the magnet, or the covering on the magnet plating having failed. Okay, thanks for watching.